Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. This video will cover the undercard weigh-in for the heavyweight fights on the Ruiz and Joshua rematch card, which is of course in Saudi Arabia to be at the Dillion Stadium. I would have started off with the co-main event, which is Alexander Povetkin versus Michael Hunter. Great fight. But what I want to do is actually start with another fight, because outside of the Ruiz Jr. weighing in heavy for the rematch with Joshua and Joshua coming in 10 pounds lighter, the most interesting storyline out of the weigh-in, for me at least, was Dillian Whyte coming in at a career heaviest. The other day when he was at the open workout, he looked like he was going to be coming in heavy, but I don't think anyone predicted it would be this heavy. His previous career high weight was 260 pounds in 2017 versus Malcolm Tan. He tipped the scales here, 271 pounds. So make of that what you will. Does it change my prediction that Whyte will beat Marius? Not at all. I think he will beat Marius, and maybe because of the condition he's in, he just may have to work a little bit harder. I don't know. He maybe thinks that he's going to take Wok out, but whatever the case, he's likely to get some rounds in here against Marius, who weighed in at 270. But yeah, Whyte, this one here, the face-to-face, it doesn't look in his normal sort of trim condition where for bigger fights he has been around 250 pounds there or thereabouts. 271 for this one. I do think that he will get the win either by stoppage or a points win. This one's a 10-rounder, but yeah, a little interesting he's come in this heavy. He had actually said that ahead of this fight, because of his situation with UCAD, and this is from the press conference, and I'll play this now, that he really has been focusing a lot of his energies in the gym.
The last few months have been tough. Obviously, I've been using the gym as a distraction, just to train, stay busy, keep my mind occupied, but you know me, I got the call late, but it don't take a lot to talk me into a fight. All you gotta do is say, yeah, there's a potential date, potential opponent. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm up for it, let's have it.
So whatever the case regarding this weigh-in and this weight, he's coming at 271. Maybe he's been stress eating given his situation. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't taken this as serious as he could have in his preparations, because he knew he was going to be fighting quite a ways out in December at some point. So yeah, I'll move on to the next one now. So Michael Hunter and Alexander Povetkin, they actually came in at weights roughly about where they normally fight. Alexander Povetkin has a range where he usually comes in between 225 and 229, with 229 the upper end of that, of course, and he was 229 on the scale for this one. 40 years old, a heavyweight contender for the past decade, one of the better heavyweights that's been in the division in the past decade. He still looks in decent shape, and Michael Hunter, he came in at 226 pounds. That's, there or thereabouts for him, so no real surprises in terms of the weights here for both these guys. And this one actually does have the potential to steal, the limelight and become fight of the night on this card. It's a very evenly matched fight. Povetkin, he's very sharp early on. Hunter, just keeps coming, and he could wear Povetkin down with volume. We'll have to see what happens. But for this fight, this is from the press conference, Hunter said he doesn't mind being the underdog still.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how long, how much more longer I'm gonna be a underdog, but I really enjoy it. But this event, this fight is definitely gonna be a tough one. All the accolades. He's a gold medalist. He's been at the top of this game for years and years.
Moving on, rising heavyweight prospect Filip Hrgovic, who's 9-0, heading into his fight with Eric Molina. He weighed in at a career-high 241 pounds. But whereas with Whyte, the Hrgovic situation is not so much of a surprise, because he's made no secret in some recent public statements in the past sort of 6 months to a year that he is looking to bulk up over time. And 241 on the scale, so about 7.5 pounds or so higher than his previous highest weight, which was 233.25 pounds. So that was his last fight against Mario Heredia. And Hrgovic, you can see here on screen, he doesn't look like he's out of shape. So I'm taking it that the bulk of the extra weight has been muscle that they've been trying to put on since he fought in August. So it'll be a mixture of muscle and fat, but clearly some muscle involved, because he's not out of shape here. Eric Molina, though, so he was 248 pounds I actually thought Eric Molina's looking in better condition than he has for some of his recent fights. And he made much of, at the press conference, of getting a full camp, a full 8 weeks. And I'll play that comment now.
8 weeks to get ready. Wow. I never thought you would give me 8 weeks to get ready for a fight. So I'm just extremely thankful to be a part of this event. This is an iconic sporting event. It's an iconic rematch. I'm that guy in the heavyweight division that just doesn't go away. I find a way to stick around. And I think Saturday night, I'll find a way to stick around. Thank you, guys.
Does Eric Molina having 8 weeks for a camp to prepare for Filip Hrgovic change my pick and him coming in at 248 pounds on the scale? No, but it's good to see that he is coming in shape and ready to fight. He's made a number of comments in Fight Week that Filip Hrgovic is going to be in trouble. He hasn't fought someone like him. The power that he has, and Filip Hrgovic isn't used to fighting someone like him. I still expect that this one is going to end in a knockout and early if Molina makes it past 3 or 4 rounds. That will surprise me quite a bit. Filip Hrgovic is quite a powerful puncher. He has shown that in some of his come-up fights. I think the Gregory Corbin one from earlier this year in May, that was he took him out in a round inside 60 seconds. So maybe we could see something similar to that. Maybe not in the first round, but a one-punch knockout, something that wrecks Molina, I'm expecting. And Hrgovic, he says, well, Molina's had 8. I've had 12 weeks to prepare.
I trained like never before with my coach Pedro Diaz in Miami, 8 weeks. And I had 4 weeks with my assistant coach Yusuf Hassan in Croatia, in Zagreb. So I'm feeling very good.
And the other heavyweight fight on the card is Magomedrasur Majidov versus Tom Little. And Little, like Molina, another guy who's looking in much better condition for this fight. So even though his fight weight was roughly around what it has been more recently, Tom Little at 251 pounds looks better than he has in other fights. He looks visibly in better shape. And he's facing Majidov, who's having a second pro fight. Majidov was down in that fight against Ed Fountain, went on to win it. So maybe Tom Little will fancy his chances here. And he's been saying as much that he believes that he is going to do something in this fight. And here is a clip from the press conference.
Records are for DJs. Amateur pedigree don't really mean anything. So I'm just going to go out there, do what I do. I've prepared like I've never prepared before. But listen, this underdog ain't going to bark. I plan on doing a bit of biting instead.
Ultimately, though, most people are picking Majidov for a reason. He's got the pedigree. They expect he will be able to take care of Little easily enough, if not by a stoppage, by a points decision. But I'm interested in the fight because I haven't seen enough of Majidov to really make my mind up about him. I have seen and heard a few people that do believe he's actually on the decline, that his sort of peak years were 4 or 5 years ago. But, you know, who knows? We shall see. He needs a good performance nonetheless, but maybe Little can make it interesting. What do you make of it all? Dillian Whyte coming in at a career heaviest. Filip Hrgovic also a career heaviest, but maybe slightly different circumstances. You also have Hunter and Povetkin coming in pretty decent shape, and Little and Majidov as well, looking ready to roll. Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.